And good evening, everyone. Welcome to the School District of the City of Dearborn regular meeting. Today is Monday, October 13th, 2025. The time is 7:12. I apologize for the late start. We did have a committee that was meeting prior and it went over. Thank you to Vice President Petlishkov for volunteering to be secretary today. Roll call, please.
Jamal Aljami. Here. Ali Bazzi.
Here.
Pat D'Ambrosio. Absent. Mary Petlishkov here. Nasri Sobh.
Here.
Amr Zar, also absent. President Moses.
Here, thank you. Next item, please.
Pledge of Allegiance to the flag. Ms. Amal Alcodray, Director of Micallef Campus, and will introduce the Howe students that will lead the Pledge of Allegiance. If everybody could please stand.
If you're ready.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Amal Alcodray. I'm the director of the Dearborn Heights campus. Please welcome our Howe Montessori fifth graders to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. We have Kareem Elzayat, Lilia Gordon, and Coy Radford.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, great job. Kareem. Thank you. Lilia. Thank you. And Coy. Thank you very much. Great job. Another round of applause for our students. Next item, please.
And now what I think a good deal of people in the crowd were waiting for is the new board member's oath of office. Board member Nasri Sobh will take the oath of office at this time, administered by Ms. Julia Habhab. Ms. Habhab and Nasri Sobh will stand, and with right hands raised, Ms. Habhab will ask him to repeat after her the following oath of office.
Okay, Mr. Sobh, Trustee Sobh, and Ms. Sobh. Raise your.
I do hereby swear and affirm
I do hereby swear and affirm
I will support the Constitution of the United States of America
I will support the Constitution of the United States of America
and the Constitution of the State of Michigan,
and the Constitution of the State of Michigan,
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties
of Office of Trustee
of Office of Trustee
of the School District of the City of Dearborn
of the School District of the City of Dearborn
to the best of my ability
to the best of my ability
in the manner provided by law.
in the manner provided by law.
Congratulations. Julia, congratulations on the win.
All right, and number 2, board member Ali K. Bazzi will take the oath of office at this time, administered by Ms. Jouhaina Bazzi. Ms. Bazzi and Ali K. Bazzi will stand and with right hands raised, and I think they've been experiencing this since they've already gone once into college. Ms. Bazzi will ask him to repeat with her the following oath of office.
I do hereby swear and affirm I do by here swear and affirm.
I will support the Constitution of the United States of America
I will support the Constitution of the United States of America
and the Constitution of the State of Michigan,
and the Constitution of the State of Michigan,
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties
of Office of Trustee
of Office of Trustee
of the School District of the City of Dearborn
of the School District of the City of Dearborn
to the best of my ability
to the best of my ability
in the manner provided by law.
in the manner provided by law.
Congrats.
So now we're a full board once again.
Yes. If I can give a few minutes to the newest trustees to say a few words and acknowledge their families in attendance. We'll start with Trustee Sobh.
Thank you. Just wanted to say thank you so much, everybody. Thank you, President Mozip, and to the board for this opportunity, for your faith in me. It's going to be a short, quick, difficult year ahead, and I'm really excited to tackle all the challenges. To everybody, out here and in the district, for those who don't know me, I hope you'll take some time, reach out. Just like the rest of the board is accessible, I will be as well. And I'm looking forward to making the most out of this next year. So just thank you again for this opportunity. I'm really grateful to be here.
Thank you. Trustee Bazzi.
I want to say thank you to my family for being here, to Jouhaina Bazzi with Zaman International as well for being here. Mentored for me for a very, very long time. Thank you to the board for your confidence in me, for answering my questions over the past month, many, many questions. Like Trustee Sobh said, if anybody wants to reach out, feel free to reach out. We're here to listen. We're here for the community. Thank you.
Thank you, Trustee Bazzi. Next item, please.
Superintendent's updates, agenda items, retirement.
Good evening, everyone. I hope everyone's doing well as we wind down, I think, this kind of summery weather. Again, our first beginning of the year, hard to believe we're now into the middle of October. We're going on close to 2 months of the school year. So we want to both congratulate and thank our retirees. We have Anthony Elia, 40 years of service, Brenda Fieldler, 22 years of service, Deborah Ghosh, over 28 years of service, and Mona Haider Ahmed, 27 years of service. Let's show our appreciation. And I'll go down my agenda. Wanted to also mention that the 25 Plus Club had their annual dinner last week. So in addition to recognizing the retirees, I would like to mention that the 25 Plus Club has done great work here to support retirees in the district. Almost 150 people attended the event that honors employees from both the district and the college. Those that have reached their 25-year mark with the schools, I got it a few years back. Those retiring under 25 years were recognized, or retiring and have more than 25 years. I want to thank the entire committee who organizes and hosts this annual event. I've been there in the past and have spoken. The 25 Plus Club is a group of retired staff members who volunteer their time to make sure that staff members stay connected and receive the recognition, and is a very positive group. So I want to thank them. Let's show our appreciation for the 25 Plus Club. I heard someone here, David got his 25 years.
David did attend, and he was one of the awardees as well for serving more than 25 years to the district. We truly, truly appreciate those individuals who have gave their entire career to Dearborn Schools and Henry Ford College. I was part of the event and enjoyed every minute of it.
And I think he's pictured in the back of us as a brand-new employee in the parade.
Thank you, David, and others for your service.
I will go down my agenda now. We got a very positive event coming. I know it's headed up by Mike Asali. We have Care to the Core and anti-bullying. This is something the board also had asked us to work on, and the goals for the superintendent goals. And so we have a big kickoff event, and David coordinates that with Mike, Dr. Rolla Bazzi Gates, and many, many others. This year it's starting at 8:30 at Etzel, and then we'll be making many visits to the schools. Board members were provided the invitation. If you're able to come to any of the events, you're more than welcome. But it is a very positive event. There's a lot of student leadership that goes on, and we've been doing this for quite a while. So, you know, what we also want to do is things that we're sustaining throughout the year through the anti-bullying committee, through the core values, through Dr. Swiden, through Mr. Asali. So really positive to have that going on this Thursday. I wanted to mention we finally got a state budget. As you're probably aware, districts were up in limbo as, you know, they actually violated the law by not passing one July 1st. You know, our budget looks decent overall for Dearborn. We're still waiting on an analysis of the detail, because sometimes you hear the headlines that you get an increase, but then, for example, you're losing money in retirement and other things that are costs to the district. So we're waiting for the final analysis. In the end, overall, there were a couple positive things, like an increase in the at-risk budget, which does help our Dearborn School students, and the English language learner money as well. Section 31A went up by 25% along with that. I can tell you, I put together, and I know the board is aware, 2 years ago, an English language learner advocacy group that started 2 years ago. Part of our mission was to share in knowledge. Ms. Roselle DeBailey is a part of that, Mr. Asali. And I was able to leverage my position 2 years ago as president of the Michigan Superintendent Association. We actually met this afternoon, and we have districts from all over the state. The team of different districts, including we got Michigan State University. We've got a lot of groups involved, advocacy groups in the area. Midwest Trust is involved, many others. They actually presented at the MASA conference. Ms. Al DeBailey was part of that co-presentation. So we're very pleased that some of our efforts, I got to say, our senators, you know, Centena and Camilleri, Senator Camilleri really championed a couple of these budget areas. And in fact, I did see him on Friday with Tim Kelly from the House School Aid Chair, and we did speak a little bit. We're going to have some future meetings there. But I just wanted to mention those couple of positives, but we're still analyzing things with Mr. Wall. But overall, the budget that we passed, we should be in good shape from what occurred in June.
President?
Yeah.
I just have a quick question on that, because while this is a state budget that's passed, the federal budget still had some potential losses and cuts that we still, I believe, are not certain of come next year.
So next year, but this year we're okay. Because this state budget, remember, they were behind on passing the budget for this year. We are fine for this year. For next year, and we talked about it in the ELL Advocacy Committee meeting today, which we do the virtual meetings because there are people from all over the state. We did say to prepare for the possibility of Title II, which is staff development supports for teachers. I'm just summarizing it. Title III, which is federal dollars for English language learners, and Title IV, which is technology, community funds. In fact, one of the budgets that's on the agenda today comes for that, the CIS and others, like our Access 21st Century and other programs. Those are all things that we're being told to prepare for the possibility of it not coming back next year. We are hearing good information on Title I and special ed, but that's why it's very important that everybody advocates with the legislators. We know we met with Congresswoman Tlaib a couple weeks ago with our network legislator. I know President Mosip came to that. And so we're always in contact with the legislatures to let them know on both a federal and a state. So I appreciate you bringing it up. But also parents, if you're talking to legislators, these are impacts that can impact students in the classroom, because if you're reducing teachers and services, it will have an impact on not only the staff member, but the students that are going to lose those services. And obviously we're here for our students. So there are things to monitor. I think we could be in for another, you know, budget battle next year. Thank you, Trustee Letchkoff. Okay, potential, I might as well mention too, there's some other, so we're still going to be very cautious on some of the positions, but what we did approve, and it's within the flexibility of the budget, we had to wait, but we did approve, and I talked to President Mobazif, and I've had it in briefs, a third trainer we're looking to hire for the athletic programs at all 3 high schools. So that is a positive, but we really were waiting. And there truly was a shortage. I know we've had blue cards here. There was a shortage because of the contract that we just learned in July was canceled because they couldn't find people. So we're going to be recruiting right now, and hopefully we'll get that third person in to support our athletes.
In the meantime, we did have some
Correct. Plans, yeah.
health professionals, though,
Yes.
at the fields for high combat sports. I saw that myself which was great. So thank the administration for being so swift on this matter and getting those 2 trainers hired, and now we're potentially hiring a third. So to make sure that we said it last time as an entire board, that safety of our students is number 1, and we lived up to it.
Thank you, President. So the next thing I have on there is potential bond. The one-on-one interviews have been completed, and they're going to be starting 4 different focus groups this week from Byron and Fisk. And there is a report, I believe the board received, Catherine, right, the report from those focus interviews. So that will continue to move forward with a potential bond for, again, potential for next year. But we know the infrastructure is a high needs situation that needs to be addressed long-term for the Dearborn Public Schools.
One thing, Superintendent Micallef, if we can give the new trustees the packets that we received from Delbine and the other firm
Sure.
that we have.
Yeah.
I believe, I talked to Trustee Bazzi about this, that
Yeah, we can do that.
they need that information as well that we received.
You got that. Okay. Thank you, President. We'll do that for sure, absolutely. So we do have a special commendation coming up, and I'll bring Ms. Sewer up right now.
Good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
Before I read it, can I ask Mr. James Martin and Principal Stanley and Ms. Mirhoff to join me? We have commendations every month, but this one's a little special. We wanted to take a little more time to do it justice. Hi, Mr. Jim. At Dearborn Schools, with the help of Ms. Stanley and Ms. Mirhoff, we'd like to give you the certificate of recognition, and I'd like to read it for everybody to hear. With deepest gratitude, the certificate is presented to James Martin, as the kids know him, Mr. Jim, in heartfelt recognition of your unwavering dedication, encouragement, and love for the children at Salina Elementary School. You have been a grandfather to many, a steady presence of kindness, and a shining example of selfless service. Your spark has ignited joy, hope, and inspiration in the hearts of our students and throughout our school community.
Thank you, Mr. Martin.
I worked for the city of Detroit for 35 years. The last 10 or 12 of them, I was the main Head Start planner for the city. After I retired, I volunteered in a classroom in Southwest Detroit for 2 years. Some 20-some years later, I find myself in another classroom. Who knew? It's been outstanding interacting with the kids who I dearly love and having the support of Ms. Stanley and Ms. Mirhoff, who puts up with me 2 or 3 days a week. She and her staff do an outstanding job, and you should be very proud of what goes on in Salina. As a closing thought, my birthday was September 17th. Who has 400 kids sing them happy birthday, not only in English, but in Arabic? I was truly lucky, and I very much appreciate receiving this certificate. I love those kids.
We thank you, Mr. Martin. Thank you.
And President Mosip and trustees and Dr. Maliko, if I can just say just a few more words about this really special man. He is 85 years young, and he embodies the heart of what it means to serve with purpose. So like he said, 3 days a week, rain or shine, he walks through the doors of Salina Elementary School with a kind word, a smile, and an open heart. To our children, Mr. Jim, you are a grandfather, patient, steady, and filled with encouragement. And to our staff, you are a reminder of goodness in action, humble, dependable, and always putting others first. He gives us his time, wisdom, and compassion to lift others quietly and without expectation. Whether tying a shoelace, offering a word of comfort, being a gentle giant for our students, or finding ways to help families in need, you do so with grace and humility. Mr. Jim, you are the spark that reminds us that kindness, consistency, and love are truly what makes a difference. Because of you, the halls of Salina shine a little brighter, and our children believe a little more deeply in themselves. Our theme this year is One Small Spark. Mr. Jim is more than one just small spark. So thank you very much for allowing us this time to commend this very special person at Salina Elementary School.
I appreciate this award immensely. And I'll just finish by saying the two questions I get initially from the kids, one, how old are you? And two, why is your hair white?
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you for your service. It's really appreciated.
Okay, I'll move along. Wonderful. So next, I just wanted to provide an update. This is under other. I spoke to President Mosip, and we're looking at a parent square. I know that's the big new platform we've unveiled. And so we're looking to bring a presentation before the board in November. We've talked about that. And Mr. Mustin's getting that ready with Mr. Addy and the group. So I just wanted to mention that. I also just want a recognition for Breast Cancer Awareness Month. I know I saw pink in the schools as I was going to different schools last week, and we see it throughout. So, you know, great that we have students and staff and others getting involved for a great cause. The other thing is it is School Lunch Recognition Week. The National School Lunch Program in Dearborn Public Schools will observe this School Lunch Week from October 13th to 17th. This year's theme is Taste the World, Your School Lunch Passport. Invite students to explore new recipes inspired by delicious foods and cultures from around the globe. This celebration, held in partnership with the National School Lunch Program, highlights the importance of healthy school lunches for our students' success in the classroom and beyond. We sincerely thank our dedicated food service staff for their hard work and commitment to serving nutritious meals to our students throughout the school year, and they do great things. I know I always like to visit, especially when I'm with President Nabil from the PTA Council. My last thing that I have to add, I have a couple of congratulations. I know we've done it informally, but they were just sworn in, so congratulations to Trustee Bazzi and Trustee Sobh. Appreciate you guys have already been reaching out, very positive. I think you're going to be a great part of the team moving forward. And so thank you for putting yourselves out there to serve and work with the rest of the trustees. So we have a great feel with both of you. And you've already been learning. You're already setting up meetings and things, which is great, right? I have to do a double thank you for Trustee Sobh. He got married on Saturday as well. And my understanding is he was initially going to have his honeymoon plans today, but he changed it because of his board responsibility. But he's still prioritizing his new wife. We know that. So him and his wife, let's give them a big round of applause.
Yeah, everybody will find out as trustees that there's a lot of sacrifice, but that's quite impressive.
Yeah, he met with me Friday morning at 8:30 too.
Yep.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Any questions for the superintendent? Or any of his updates? Thank you, Dr. Maliko. Next
Thank
item.
you.
Recognition and acknowledgements, commendations.
We have 2 students from Dearborn High.
Hi, my name is Miriam Alcodray. I'm a senior at Dearborn High School. And I'm Ramsey Khair, also a senior at Dearborn High School.
Okay. Commendations to Jacob Farah, videographer in the Communications Department, for his work to capture drone footage and create the subsequent video highlighting the Salina Schools campus. This video will be used to complement the Green Schools progress. Commendations to Director of Food Services, Imiona Creste. She completed the Michigan School Business Official Certification for Child Nutrition Director. The MSBO's Voluntary Certification Program supports ongoing professional development for school business officials. The program is a mark of distinction that reflects professional achievement and demonstrates a person's dedication to his or her profession. Commendations to two Dearborn High students who were recognized through the National Merit Scholarship Program, Zachariah Ahmad and Jason Anderson, who were listed as commended. To participate in the National Merit Scholarship, students take the PSAT exam in the fall of their junior year. Out of the 1.3 million program entrants, 34,000 of the high scorers are listed as commended. Commendations to the Dearborn High and Fordson football coaches for hosting a unity dinner with their team captains before the school's rivalry matchup on September 27th. The event brought together student leaders from both teams to hear about the history of the rivalry game, the importance of showing respect, and that they are all part of one community and school district. Commendations to Dearborn High golfer Calissa Post, who won the MHSAAA Division I Region II Championship with a score of 84 for 18 holes. The junior now will represent Dearborn High in the state finals on October 17th and 18th at the Grand Valley State University. Commendations to Etzel Ford High School football coaches and players. A referee for the September 26th game praised the sportsmanship of the sideline players and coaches for how they treated referees and their opponents during the game. The varsity football team is coached by Sean Lokensoll.
Commendation for Stout Principal Habhab Al-Baqi and All Smith Principal Mark Romuller for being named finalists for Michigan Middle School Principal of the Year. Commendation to Al Smith Assistant Principal Maha Fayyad for being named a finalist for Michigan Middle School Assistant Principal of the Year. These three exceptional administrators have demonstrated student first, daring grip, positive culture and climate in their school. The recognition comes from Michigan Association of Secondary School Principal. Commendations to staff teachers Julia Watson, Baxter Micallef, and Kayla Zariba, and Salina and intermediate teacher Amira Saeed. The three staff teachers visit Ms. Saeed's room to observe best practice in ELA phonics instruction in middle school setting. This is all functional BLC at work. Teachers are learning from one another and seeking to improve their practice through highly effective strategy of peer-to-peer learning. Commendation to Julie Bass and Teres Mesereski, the two GSRP preschool teachers visited their former student at home before they started kindergarten. Each child received a balloon and a book the night before kindergarten by Natasha Wink. Commendation to district instructional coaches Nokel Bush, Angel Zajri, Michelle Landerman, and Susanna Slangman for their ongoing effort in supporting the successful rollout of the district's elementary English language art assessment. Commendation to David Hagen, principal of William Ford Elementary. He was recently praised by parents from being a good school leader and create a positive environment for parents and students. The parent wrote, Mr. Hagens leads with the empathy, compassion, and a genuine care. That's it.
Oh, are we done?
If you want to both stay, Miriam and Ramsey.
Students,
You want to
we
come
always
back? We
have a
some questions for
Q&A
you.
afterwards.
Yeah.
We're going to test you.
Should have got used to it by now.
Trustee Al-Jahmi, did you have any questions for them?
I was just waved.
Okay, I have a question for both of you. Since you're both seniors, where are you heading after high school?
So I'm planning to go to University of Michigan Ann Arbor, hopefully. And I hope to pursue a pre-med track, double majoring in biochemistry and nutritional sciences and minoring in business.
Fantastic. Ramsey?
I'm planning to attend Eastern Michigan University for joining their programs in aviation and going on my journey to become as a pilot.
Oh, amazing. That's great. And
Thank you.
I've heard news that Miriam was crowned homecoming queen, so congratulations. And also, Ramzi, you were part of the homecoming court, so congratulations to both of you as well.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Next item, please.
Employee recognition. You want to do it, Tom?
Good evening, everyone. I'm not sure, is Miss Caitlin Pinkowski or Miss Hannah Ridd, are they either one of you here? Okay, so we'll just read them then. Good evening, everyone. It is my honor to recognize this month's outstanding Dearborn Public Schools employees. First, our instructional employee of the month, Miss Caitlin Pinkowski, the speech pathologist over at Howe School. This is Caitlin's second year with Dearborn Public School, and she's already made an incredible impact. She was nominated for going above and beyond to ensure that every student has a voice, both figuratively and literally, and that every teacher has the tools they need to help students communicate effectively. Caitlin's dedication and energy have made the real difference in the lives of her students and colleagues. Next is our non-instructional employee of the month, Miss Nadia Elian, Secretary 4 at Bryant Middle School. Unfortunately, Nadia couldn't be here with us tonight, but I wanted to take this moment to recognize her 28 years of service with Dearborn Public Schools. She was nominated for her positivity, her quick problem solving, and warm smile that makes everyone around her feel welcome. Nadia is the kind of person who keeps things running smoothly and does it all with the grace and kindness. And finally, our administrator of the month, Ms. Hanan Rida, assistant principal at Hague and Maples Elementary. Now in her 12th year in Dearborn Public Schools, Hanan was nominated for her exceptional leadership, tireless dedication, and unwavering commitment to student success. She built strong relationships with both students and staff and has created a culture that's positive, supportive, and deeply rooted in care and connection. Her influence reaches far beyond the walls of her building. To Caitlin, Nadia, and Hanan, on behalf of everyone, thank you for your effort and excellence you bring to the Dearborn Public Schools community. Now I'm going to turn it over to Executive Director Sroor, who has even more knowledge.
It's a great point. I know the commendation was made, but a special recognition for, I'm sure, the news you've heard over the weekend about our 3 finalists for Principal and Assistant Principal of the Year through the 2026 MASSP. Can I have Principal Abdelbaki, Principal Rummel, and Assistant Principal Fayyad join me up at the podium? So I had to be very covert with all of this. So I want to recognize Assistant Principal Proctor and Office Manager Latifa over at Stout, who helped me. So thank you to both of you. And the tricky one was Smith, because I had to meet with Mark to get Maha's done, and I had to meet with Maha to get Mark's done and have no one ask any questions. But without the support team, this couldn't have happened. I also want to take a minute to have anybody who submitted a letter of recommendation to please stand, because without you, this wouldn't have been possible. There are many, many more, about 5 for each one, and I just want to say that process was very easy. It was not hard at all to get students, parents, staff, and community partners to give of their time to recognize these 3 amazing administrators. They are finalists. I asked today, I emailed Maggie how many nominations there were, because that's the competitive part of me that I need to know. But it doesn't matter, because you make us so proud, and being a finalist really means a lot. So just a special recognition to you today. And I know all your families are here as well.
Good evening, everyone, and congratulations to our new trustees. I am truly honored by this nomination. Honestly, when I received the email that I was nominated, that felt like winning. But when I received an email that I was a finalist and find out that I'm here with 2 amazing colleagues in the district, that is such a real treat for us, and a reflection of all of you, of everybody from central office, from everything that you instilled in administrators in this district. I want to just reflect that there's an Arabic saying that says, "One hand does not clap alone." It couldn't be more true than today. This is not a recognition on a single person's commitment or accomplishments in a school. We have a staff at Stout Middle School who is goes above and beyond in everything they do. They don't do things out of compliance. It is genuine care. I have family members. Stout Middle School consists of 4 communities in Dearborn: Maples, Gear Park, Miller, and Snow. Very unique, all coming together to be a powerhouse of students in that building and their amazing families. Central office people, the guidance you guys give us, this is why we're here. Lamise Sarur. What can I say about Lamise? She is a gentle giant who guides very gently, but knows what she wants and gives us what we need, but lets us do our thing and have our personality. I do want to commend Fatmi Faraj. Fatmi works with middle school principals all the time. Look at who's here, middle school people. So Fatmi, thank you for all your guidance. Brent Proctor, he's my partner over there, admin partner. We just go through so much together, and honestly, I wouldn't be here. Half of it has to go to Brent along with the rest of the staff. And Latifa, who's my office manager, is also here. She's the boss in that building. So Latifa, thank you for everything. Thank you, everybody. This is such an honor to be here tonight.
Good evening, trustees. Dr. Malenko, thank you so much for sparing a couple minutes to have us recognized tonight. I'm just very happy that this whole process puts the Dearborn schools in the lens of the state as a whole. I think it helps them see what we already know, that there's a very high commitment to excellence and a high standard. I will say every day there's a very high commitment to excellence and a very high standard for education with everybody in our staff, especially at O.L. Smith Middle School, especially at Stout Middle School. Our community is amazing. Our teachers, our staff is amazing, but I really couldn't do without my amazing cohort there, my buddy there, Miss Fayed, my assistant principal. Thank you very much. The inspiration is very wonderful, so thank you, everyone.
So I have 2 great speakers that I need to follow their footsteps. Before I start, I want the cameras to actually go in this direction because these are the pieces that make it all work. There's a lot of our staff members here, a lot of our parents, our family members, and as you all know, a puzzle is not complete without its pieces. So as great as the puzzle is, everybody has a piece of it that makes it exceptional. I did write something just to be safe because I feel better with my paper. I'm not going to go through it all, but I do want to recognize that this is a recognition for the entire community, especially the Dearborn Public Schools District. The investment that you guys put in your employees is nothing but great. At the end, you see the fruits of it all in these rooms and in the classrooms and in the schools. Dr. Malenko, thank you, because under your leadership, you've instilled a lot of greatness, of which you've created a team that works tirelessly to make sure that we are all in on this together. You've created an executive team of Ms. Sarur, Ms. Faraj, and Ms. Shaheen that really go above and beyond to inspire their staff, to keep us motivated, and to keep us in line to doing the right things. A special shout out to Ms. Sarur, our Viking feeder executive. You go above and beyond to make sure that we are all supported, we're heard, and we're appreciated. And you take the extra mile to make sure that you cheer us on. So you are our, behind the scenes cheerleader. Mr. Rummel, he does not like to be in the spotlight. But could I have you up here, please?
Yes, ma'am.
I'm sorry. Okay. This man right here is an exceptional leader. He's a phenomenal mentor. He takes the time to educate. He takes the time to lead with empathy. You care from the heart. You create systems and policies. You've trained me. I am good because I'm under you. The staff is amazing. We work very well as a team because we are a team. We really define what team is. Our staff, as we said earlier, is pieces of the puzzle, and everybody has something to do with it. thank you to everyone. I don't know who else I need to thank, but of course, there's a row over there, my family, my children, and my parents who are the biggest support system always. So I thank you all, and thank you for giving us this time to recognize.
Everyone's a team. You know, we have a wonderful team in our district. Thank you.
Congratulations to the finalists. We are truly, truly proud of you, and you made us proud. You put Dearborn on the map in the entire state. So thank you for that, and thank you for what you do every single day for our students. There are no others. We could go to next item.
Acknowledgement, Trustee Jamal?
Yeah.
Yeah, Trustee Elzayat, sorry.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I do want to congratulate on behalf of the board, the 3 nominees. It's a great honor, and we're so proud of you. But I did want to share something as a parent. This is regarding Ms. Abdelbaki. My son was at Fortson when she was an AP, and I always felt like you're the reason he graduated. And I really appreciate you. I've been trying to connect with you, and I will. But I always thought, as a parent, you did such a wonderful job at Fortson, and you're doing such a wonderful job at Stott. And my son always remembers you. His name is Jabr Al-Jahmi. And he was struggling at school, but you pushed him to graduate, so thank you.
I'll definitely share the same testament. Both of my kids went through Stout, and Abdelbaki, you've done so much for Omar and for all the students. And we're truly blessed to have you in our district, as well as Mr. Rummel and Ms. Fayyad. Thank you. Dr. Malayko.
I would also like to congratulate them and Ms. Abdelbaki. I go back to our Salina days when she was an outstanding teacher and she kept it going, making a difference, putting students first always. And Mr. Rummel and Ms. Fayyad, the great work you do. And although he may not want the spotlight, I see him all over Instagram. And I'm just saying, you know, he's giving me a run for my money. So great job, well-deserved honors. Good luck with the final selection.
Next item, please.
Acknowledgement of donations, Mr. Wall.
Good evening, President Mosip, board members, and Dr. Malayko. We have 14 donations to recognize today. A donation of $251.60 has been offered to Fortson High School by the Dearborn Education Foundation to use for Macbeth books. Donation of $400 has been offered to Howard Elementary School by the Dearborn Education Foundation to be used for Pitch Perfect padding. 3, a donation of $500 has been offered to Dearborn High School by the Dearborn Education Foundation to be used for Poetry Literacy Initiative. A donation of $145.42 has been offered to Whitmore Bowles Elementary School by the Dearborn Education Foundation to be used for a classroom rug. A donation of $450 has been offered to Maples Elementary School by the Dearborn Education Foundation to be used for flexible seating. A donation of $185 has been offered to Howard Elementary School by the Dearborn Education Foundation to be used for a classroom rug. A donation of $20,000 has been offered to Dearborn Public Schools by the Dearborn Education in partnership with Ford Motor Company to be used for district-wide robotics. A donation of cameras, lenses, and assorted equipment has been offered to Essa Ford High School by Ken and Jill Chokol to be used by the students in the photography club. A donation of $1,480 has been offered to Salina Intermediate School by CRSD Obad Mari to be used for PBIS Student Incentive and Awards. A donation of $1,000 has been offered to Salina Intermediate School by Khalid Abdullah and Obab Mari to be used for PBIS School Student Incentives. Donation of $400 has been offered to Smith Middle School by Ali Chami to be used for football equipment. Donation of $500 has been offered to Smith Middle School by Tofik Ahmed to be used for the football team. 13, a donation of $50 has been offered to Smith Middle School by Christy Roth to be used for sports. And a donation of $50 has been offered to Smith Middle School by Terry Shiaka to be used for the football team. That concludes the donations.
Thank you, Mr. Wall, and thank you to all of the donors, organizations, and individuals who have provided the district with the support they need to excel, especially from the Dearborn Education Foundation. Thank you to them. Next item, please.
Approval of minutes. Approval of minutes of the following Dearborn Board of Education meeting. Special meeting board vacancy, September 2nd, 2025, board report 2536. Special meeting board vacancy, September 4th, 2025, board report 2537. Special meeting board vacancy, September 8th, 2025, board report 2538. Building and Site Committee meeting, September 8th, 2025, board report 2539. And regular P12 meeting, September 8th, 2025, board report 2540. Recommended action, make any necessary corrections and move approval of these minutes.
I'll make a motion.
Thank you, Trustee Al-Jahmi, for moving it. Support? Supported by Trustee Bazzi. Thank you. Any corrections to the minutes or changes? Hearing none, may I attach a unanimous roll to this motion? Thank you. Next item.
Union leadership commentary. I am showing that there is no union leadership commentary, but I do see on the top of my blue cards that Kathy Martin has something. It's more on a personal level, it appears, but if she would like to take this opportunity to speak now, I'll give her the floor.
Thank you, Vice President Petlishkov.
We'll get one out of the way.
I did respond to Joanne, and I was shocked that I didn't see my name on the thing, so I was proactive.
We have Ms. Schaefer today.
Huh? But this was last week. But anyways, it's beside the point. Actually, I just want to come up here and congratulate our new trustees. It's going to be great working with you all, and I think this district is going to be lucky to have you. So just welcome, and that's it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, President Martin. If there are no objections, if I can move citizen participation ahead of special reports. Seeing no objections, we can go to citizen participation, please, and we'll come back to special reports afterwards.
Citizen participation. Citizens wishing to address the board on agenda and non-agenda items for action who are signed in by 7:10 p.m. by submitting a blue card to the board secretary may speak at this time. The board may not be in a position to respond to non-agenda items. Therefore, speakers should not anticipate an immediate response to their comments or questions. For the benefit of all concerned, do not mention the names of students or school district employees. Please keep your comments as brief as possible. There is a 3-minute time limit on comments made to the board. And I will begin reading, and as I read your name, please come up to the podium. Oh, this name is familiar. Hussein Berry from Dearborn. I'd like to congratulate.
President Moseb, Madam Vice President Petrikov, trustees, Superintendent Dr. Malika, good evening. Miss you all. You know what? I just want to take this opportunity to congratulate and thank Trustee Sobh and Trustee Bazzi. Thank you for stepping up. I've been able to sleep better at night now since I resigned off the board, knowing that this amazing board made a great decision. Just wanted to explain one thing, and I promise you, President Moseb, I'm not going to be that former board member that's going to keep coming and telling you what to do or not to do. I'm just here just for tonight. But Mary, on a more personal level, Mary, not Trustee Petrikov, we had our ups and downs, but you know what? We did some amazing things together. For the last 2 decades, we've accomplished a lot. So thank you for helping me grow. And President Moseb, what could I say? Man, 2025, what a year.
Yeah.
And you know what? I want to thank you for your leadership and your steady hands on the steering wheel this past year. There was a lot thrown at you, at the board, from the college end, doing public schools. You know, you had 2 new trustees. They're doing an amazing job. You know, you're onboarding them, and now you have 2 more. So thank you. I mean, my intentions were, most people know by now that I have some aspirations next year. My intentions were to resign in February of 2026. But since one of our colleagues left, I think you all know now what I meant by let's get this done, you know, instead of just going through all the interviews. And by the way, thank you for all the other 35 or 36 candidates that stepped up, and please stay involved. I knew this was a very, challenging, I used a different word a couple months ago, but it's a very challenging process, kind of divides the board, but now you've made two great decisions, come together to the new trustees. It doesn't matter who supported you, who didn't, who voted for you, who didn't. You represent everybody. Keep one thing in mind. How does my decision affect the students? That is the most important thing that we all talked about. So again, congratulations. Like I said, I won't be back, but.
You're always welcome.
Thank you. I won't be back bothering you, but you have two very important decisions to make, one at the college and one to replace Dr. Maleko. Congratulations, Dr. Maleko, on your new venture. But please keep one thing in mind. Hire the people that will protect the ones they are paid to protect, not to protect the quote-unquote protected ones. Keep that in mind. Thank you for allowing me to speak to you, and congratulations.
Thank you for addressing us. Former Trustee Berry. Next.
Okay, our next speaker will be Robin Micallef. She would like to speak about the walking classroom. She will demonstrate the walking classroom.
I had a little problem. Well, first of all, I just wanted to say congratulations to our new trustees and to all of our trustees, of course, for serving. I appreciate you all, and I can't wait to see the great things you're going to do for our kids. I also want to congratulate the principal and assistant principal who have made the finals. I'm very partial to the two from O.L. Smith because my kids have had such a wonderful experience. They're some of the best teachers I've ever encountered at O.L. Smith, and it comes from the top down and the bottom up. So congratulations to all of them. And then I wanted to talk about something really positive and exciting that my son experienced. He's at O.L. Smith now, but he was at Duval last year, and I've been meaning to come in and talk about it. And that is the walking classroom. So in networking with my son's teacher, I learned that she wanted to raise money to purchase something called the walking classroom. So these are small MP3 players worn on a lanyard around the student's neck. And they are preloaded with like a ton of standard-based educational podcasts. They're supplemented with lesson plans, quizzes, and other activities. They cover topics, grades 3 through 8 in like ELA, social studies, and science. Kids carry the MP3 on a lanyard around their neck, and the class can go out and take a walk in the fresh air while they listen and learn. So our first roadblock was funding and trying to be able to make that happen, and we actually reached out to our neighbor, Dearborn Federal Savings, who was generous both with their money but also in spirit. They are always enthusiastic about anything at the schools that they can do to encourage education and the future citizens in Dearborn, and also encouraging health and wellness. So they actually donated the money to purchase 30 headsets at a cost of over $3,000. And we were able to purchase those last fall. And I actually had the opportunity to walk with the class multiple times as they went out and listened to their podcast. There's so many benefits. The kids really look forward to it. They're moving around in the fresh air. Even in the winter, they bundle up and go out, and it helps with focus, attention, and motivation, especially for those who are most challenged in this area. The kids are able to share and retain so much of what they learn, and it helps with attention span, which we know our kids badly need right now. And it's especially helpful with larger classrooms. You can go out and, and do it. So we even walked up to Dearborn Federal Savings Bank, and the kids got a tour of the vault, and we even built like more community with our neighbor, and hopefully we're gonna be doing some other things to partner in the future. But this teacher, I just wanna say, is forever in my heart. After embracing this idea, and I know other teachers at the school would also love to have these. I encourage all of our leadership to look at exciting things and methods, delivery methods for our curriculum, and I encourage parents, if you like the sound of this and this idea, to push for this as well and advocate for that. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Ms. Micallef.
Have a great night.
We truly appreciate it.
Next, Samer Saad would like to speak about Dearborn High School football situation.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Congratulations, Mr. Sobh, Mr. Bazzi. First, I want to thank and acknowledge the district for taking quick action. The situation with the football program was becoming more and more toxic in every practice. And it was hurting these kids every day, not just physically, but mentally and emotionally. So I really do appreciate the staff for stepping in. We care deeply about this district, this community, and these kids. At the end of the day, that's why we're all here. To make sure every decision is made in a way that uplifts and supports what's best for each individual child. This district has always emphasized restorative practices. And that's something we value. As parents, we're asking you that you continue to lean on those same restorative and individualized methods as these things move forward, both in how the situation is handled and how these students are supported afterward. Addressing the behavior is important, but it's just as important to make sure the kids are part of a process that helps them learn, grow, and find their way back to their goals. These kids need to know that their voices matter, that accountability doesn't have to mean tearing them down, and that adults in their lives are working to build them up. Listen, at the end of the day, it's all about the children. Football is a brotherhood, and this young gentleman, the whole team is here. Stand up. We're all here for a common cause. And as parents and community members, we hope that the staff and leadership care about our children the way that we want them to be cared for as their parents. We've supported the staff and we've supported this board. We voted for you because we believed you do what's right for these kids. So we're trusting you to continue to do just that. Thank you for hearing me out and for continuing to make decisions that reflect the values of this community. Before I go, Ahmed Sayed would like to say a few words. He was one of the kids that was involved in the situation.
Okay, so
Does he have a card? Okay.
All right.
All right.
Yes, he's on the blue card.
I just wanted to take the moment to apologize to, first of all, my teammates, administration, and everyone that's been helping me through this whole situation. And I just want to say that just please, any way there is, just I would love to finish the season with my brothers. We've been doing this for 5 years, and I would do anything just to get back on the field with them and just finish the season.
Thank you. Thank you for your time.
Thank you for addressing us. Thank you.
Okay, and our last blue card is Meredith Gordon, and she would like to speak about Edsel Ford Auto Shop teacher or lack of an auto shop and lack of communication to parents.
Good evening.
Good evening.
So I have been a parent for Dearborn Public Schools for about 11 years now and still have a number of years left. I have 3 kids in Edsel Ford, either at Edsel Ford and Edsel Ford feeder schools, Whitmore and O.L. Smith, which I love Whitmore. I love O.L. Smith. They're amazing. My son is an 11th grader at Edsel who is in the advanced auto shop program. That is a 2-hour elective in the middle of the day. It's been over 3 weeks now that the auto shop program has not had a teacher at Edsel. They're basically being babysat for 2 hours in an advanced auto class, just being supervised with nothing to do. As of this date, no one from the administration has even made a formal announcement of the teacher resigning. I do appreciate President Mozip for responding to my email when I did raise concerns about the teacher resigning, who I happen to know for a fact did not want to resign. She did not want to resign. That was something that was, from her words, threatened, and she did not want to leave these kids high and dry. The auto shop kids are a fringe group of kids. They're generally not athletic. They're generally not super into academics. They're kind of their own breed of kids. They feel overlooked as it is. They find a place in auto shop. They find a home there. That's what my son found. He really struggled his first 2 years at Etzel, trying to find a place. He didn't quite fit in with everybody. He's not a sports kid. It's just not his thing. And he doesn't see college. He sees himself in the trades. He fell in love with the auto shop program. For the first time this year, he was waking up in the morning at 6:30, excited to go to school, waking me up for work. Coming home, showing me things that he did, telling me all about everything he was excited about to do. In these 3 weeks, he's a completely different kid. He doesn't want to go to school. He doesn't have anything to look forward to because his electives are just him sitting in an empty auto shop classroom. So I really would like this elected board to please do something about getting somebody in that position where these kids need somebody. And at least my kid, is really struggling. I'd like to not bring him to school in tears. So, thank you.
Thank you so much for addition. And if somebody from the administration can follow up with the parent, we'll truly appreciate that. Dr. Malika, do you have any follow-up on the previous comments?
Yeah, sure, I can make a couple. My understanding is a recommendation did just come in to hire the auto shop teacher. Sorry for the inconvenience with that situation. The career and technical areas are high needs in demand areas. There are shortages. So we will work on that. And I saw Ms. Farage also just reached out. So I think positive coming. And if there's things not going on in class, we'll talk to the principal. We'll go in, we'll look at it and see what's going on as we normally would to make sure that instruction is going on. Also, just to mention, whenever we have a situation, obviously, I know Principal Jabril over at Dearborn High with the football put out a statement or communicated with the players, and it didn't work out with the coach, and we appreciate the recognition of us working together through that. I can say that we always stand for restorative practices and working together. And I can't get into any specific comments of individual students, but what I can say is that I've been kept apprised in the board along the way of what's been going on, and I know it's being handled with the utmost professionalism by the administration working together with the staff, Mr. Hawley, Principal Jabril, and parents. So thank you for your comments.
Trustee Petriskov.
I just kind of want to add on, I understand the frustration from parents and community members who should be seeing a certain theme now where we have struggled with specialty staffing, whether it's in special education, whether it's in the arts, whether it's in trades, any of those things. There are so many requirements to be certified as a teacher in a public school district that it's not, you can just go out on the street corner and pick up somebody who's good at something and put them in the classroom. They're required to have certain degrees and qualifications in order to be there in the classroom with the students. And so it's a struggle finding these niche employees. Public schools especially don't pay top dollar, is not considered the highest espoused job opportunity for a lot of people. So a lot of people are now going elsewhere for their opportunities. So it makes it much harder for us, and we do struggle. It's not an excuse, but finding people to fill those roles is becoming more and more difficult as the days go on, but we continue to work at it, be it an athletic trainer, a school nurse, speech pathologist, a hearing impaired, or an auto mechanic instructor. we just have to dig a little deeper, look a little harder, but it might not be as quick a turnaround as we would like to see. And I really appreciate the fact that the parents are working with us to help us maintain some order in the classroom, and give these kids these opportunities, because you're right, every kid isn't going to be a sports kid, every kid isn't going to be a music kid, every kid is not going on to pre-med or law. So they all have a place to find and call home and find success in their educational career, and we want to be a part of that, we really do. But sometimes it's a little harder than we would like to see.
Thank you, Vice President Petlishkov. I'd like to echo your comments and also acknowledge and thank the parents and the students. I hope this is a lesson learned, that they've hit rock bottom already, and now we're coming back as a united family, and to make sure that this program stays on. Fortson and Dearborn game is always a game that the entire city looks up to, and something that we want to see next year, I hope, with a great program at Dearborn High and a great program at Fortson. And it was saddening to see what happened, but I hope that this is a learning lesson for all, and that we come back from it stronger. As for the trades teacher, I'm happy that we have a replacement. And yeah, apologize again, it took some time, but we have to go through the HR process. So hopefully we will have a teacher in that classroom soon, because that program is hailed at Etzel Ford for the auto shop. That's what it's known for. So we truly appreciate the administration for acting so quick on that. But I would hope for next time, whenever we have these situations, I know the parent mentioned there was no communication, that we are definitely upfront about things when things like this happen. So this is also a lesson for the administration for future events when they occur. Any other comments? Okay. All right, next item, please.
Special reports, we're going to flip back on the agenda.
Yes.
School safety, Ms. Danielle Elzayat, Mr. Dakhlallah, and Sergeant Jarod Micallef.
Good evening, everyone. President Mosip, Dr. Maleko, Board of Trustees, congratulations again. Boy, it's different on this side. Okay. As mentioned before, this is Dakhlallah. He's the Assistant Supervisor of Health, Safety, and Security. I have with us also Sergeant Jarod Micallef, who oversees all of the SROs that work in our district. So we have a great partnership, and I asked them both to join me up here today. So President Mobizit, thank you for your interest in school safety and for asking us to put this presentation together. School safety is such a broad topic, and it covers so many things. So what I did for this presentation is I kind of divided it into the different things that we do and that we cover throughout the district, which is health, safety, and security. So, keeping us healthy. Our main focus is maintaining a healthy environment in our buildings. This focuses on environmental health and infrastructure safety. So we maintain things like air quality. So there's continuous monitoring and filtration maintenance to ensure optimal air quality in all learning spaces. Indoor air quality, annual testing on a 3-year cycle. So we make sure that within 3 years, every building gets their air quality tested. This is aside from the regular maintenance that takes place in the building. Water quality, we do regular testing and reporting of water quality at all schools and sites. So this is also on a 3-year cycle. So there are things that are done annually and they are maintained throughout the year. However, the actual official testing with the environmental testing consulting company is done on a 3-year cycle. Legal notices, so there are notices that have to be legally posted, and those can be found on our Dearborn Schools website The legal notices that we deal with are the asbestos notices, the weapons notice, the drugs notice, those public announcements that we make annually for the district. Facility and inspections. So we need to make sure that all of our playgrounds are inspected, surfaces, equipment integrity is intact, inspections of athletic turf fields are done every year, and mandatory bleacher inspections to make sure that the structure and integrity of our bleachers are maintained. And these are the outdoor stadium bleachers. So focusing on preparedness and training, we have drills, training, and reporting. That's usually the cycle that they work in. So we have our mandatory drill reporting. We make sure that our drills are reported, which they have to be reported annually every year, September 15th of that year. They are required to conduct safety drills in all of the buildings. There are fire drills, tornado drills, our lockdown drills, all of this to ensure compliance, which is great. So I'm happy that, we always meet our compliance. We make sure that the drills are reported to the county. Then we make sure that the drills are reported after they are conducted. But more importantly, what I love most about the drills is this gives everybody in the building a chance to practice. So we can write our plans, we put our plans in action, and then we do what's called like a hot wash after, especially on the evacuation drills. Since I've been here, we've worked with a few buildings where we've practiced evacuating the entire building and going to a reunification site to see what that looks like to get everybody out of the building in the event that there's an active assailant incident. We work on so evacuation drills, shelter-in-place drills, and our lockdown drills. Big part of our planning is the emergency operations plan. This is a comprehensive safety plan inside of each building. So annually they are reviewed, and then every 3 years with the state they have to be certified. We also work on our traffic flow plans. This is a recent initiative that we partnered up with the Dearborn Police Department with. So all of the buildings were given a template to put their traffic flow plans in order. So we know that every building has a traffic flow plan, whether it's on paper or not, because hundreds of kids are getting dropped off every morning and they're getting picked up every afternoon. But we wanted to take what was in the mind and make sure that it was put on a plan. So all of our buildings are working on traffic flow plans. With our SROs, they will review them. We'll actually make sure that what every building has on paper flows right in accordance with traffic laws that are around their buildings. Classroom in-place kits. So I call these in-place kits because when I first came to the district, they were called go kits. And many people thought that these were safety buckets that are in each classroom. And I noticed that during some evacuation drills, people were actually taking the buckets with them out of the classroom, but those buckets are meant to stay in the classroom in the event of a shelter in place. EOP development, so we're constantly working on that district-wide. Any new recommendations that come through from either MDE or the county, we make sure that we disseminate that information out and that those corrections are made or changes are made. And then again, they're reviewed with our public safety team. So our personnel partnerships, like I said, we have a great partnership with the Dearborn Police. Our SROs are in every building, and every SRO is assigned a few buildings. They make sure that they stop at those buildings throughout their work week. They've built a great relationship, not only with myself and Abe. Abe actually used to work at the Dearborn Police Department. So we have a great working relationship there, but they really take time to visit the buildings, the kids, the staff. They've become an integral part of each and every one of the buildings that they serve, and we appreciate their great work for that. We also work in close partnership with the Dearborn Fire Department. So we coordinate things with our emergency management office, with EMS, with the Office of the Fire Marshal. Sometimes we need fire watch assistance for our buildings and of course, fire response. Our high school security guards, we have a dedicated security team providing a visible presence and access control, helping us monitor our parking lots at the high schools, helping put that extra set of eyes and ears to the administration in our high school buildings. So one of the main things that we changed recently was we used to be on the ALICE program in the district, and we've switched over now to the federal model. So I always say it doesn't matter what you call the system. Every single system is the same thing when you look at the training, and it's either run, hide, fight. It's unfortunate that we have to worry about this training, but we do. So this keeps it simple for all of our staff, for all of our students. It's simply run, hide, or fight. So we emphasize the primary objective of escape routes and escaping to a safe area. We work on if it's safe to hide, securing and barricading, and we work on fighting. As a last resort, acting to disrupt the threat. This, I provided the link for you guys so you can see the video that our staff watch and the training that they do every single year. So as far as exercises, we try to do exercises aside from the mandatory drills. As I mentioned before, we've done drills where we've evacuated entire buildings out to the reunification site. And it's amazing how, even though people are doing it for the first time, they still know what to do because of the drills that they've done previously. Threat response, so when there's a threat in the building, and these are the incident reports that you guys receive from me most of the time, we have swift action, and it's not just us up here. This is a multi-coordination team that is working at the same time to mitigate the threat. So it's myself, it's the Director of Student Services, it's the school administration, it's the school resource officer, and the school social worker. So this team is working in sync to react to any type of threat in the building and to make sure that it's safe to keep kids in the building, or in some instances, making sure that it's safe to open school the next day. And a special thank you, I'll pause right here, to the Dearborn Police Department, who helps us do that at all hours of the night. I don't know why, but it always seems that, Jarod and I laugh about this all the time, it always seems like it's Friday at 11 o'clock at night, somebody's posting something on social media that we work throughout the weekend to make sure that we're able to open school on Monday safely. Some of our grant funding, so we've put our grant money to good use. The last round of grants that we received from the state was the 97 grant. That was extra per pupil funding. We put our money to good use by upgrading our camera systems, our access control equipment, and our integrated software to make sure that we can see what's going on in the buildings without actually being in the buildings. So that's as far as access control when doors are opened, when doors need to be locked, when doors need to be unlocked. Abe does an amazing job with making sure that all of that access control and camera systems are easy for us to see. I did want to pause here and say thank you so much to our IT department, Bob Addy and Chris Kennenberg, who work so closely with us on making sure that we can actually operate this equipment. In conclusion, we say this all the time, Dr. Malenko and I, safety is everyone's responsibility. So whether you're a board member, whether you're a staff member, whether you're a student, a parent, or a neighbor who may not even have kids in the district, safety is everybody's responsibility. And the only way we can achieve this is if we all work together. There are some reporting tools that I wanted to take time to mention tonight. We do have our student safe voice. This is a link for every single building. If somebody feels that something needs to be reported to safety and security, you can click on this link and you can report it anonymously if you wish. And there's also a space in there to give us details on what you want to report. State of Michigan also has a similar reporting tool, which is nice because if somebody is causing a threat or causing a disturbance that may be out of state and somebody else hears about it, they can go to this OK to Say website, which goes to the Michigan State Police. The Michigan State Police then will forward it to the local police department and also to the schools. So we love that these tools help us. Active participation, engaging in all safety drills and training. We want everybody to take this seriously. I'm thankful that everybody, for the most part, around here does. And working together. So we want to foster an atmosphere of mutual responsibility and care among our administration, staff, students, and families. It's always students first in Dearborn Public Schools, and we want to make sure that our kids are safe when they're at school. That is all I have. I will say that I provided this link for you here. We've just recently, with the help of our communications department, David, I think, stepped away. David and Katie in communications helped me with this. We put together a new webpage for health, safety, and security, where all of this information, we called it together and just put it in this one page. So school safety really hits all of the departments. So I noticed that, there were things all over the place, which they should still remain there, but there should also be a link where all of it can be in a one-click under the safety and security webpage. So again, thank you to the communications team for helping us with that. And that is the end of the presentation, if anybody has questions.
Thank you, Director Elzayat. Trustee Bazzi, and then we'll have Trustee Petrushko.
First and foremost, I want to say thank you for this presentation. It was very informative. The changes that I've seen, at least at my drop-off for my kids, I've seen at the elementary schools have been fantastic this year, so thank you. Traffic flow,
great,
especially as we promote kids biking to school or walking to school. The safety of traffic flow there is very, very important. So from what I've seen, it's been great. And the SROs that I've interacted with have been great to interact with, very informative. Good placement there, at least in the elementary school setting. My kids are in elementary school, so that's what I see in the morning. I do have a question regarding some of the drills. When I went to school, we didn't have to do some of the drills that we have to do now. And I know that I've noticed there has been a change, when my kids come home talking about that. So different that I would ask or maybe make a suggestion that if a video or something you put together to share with the parents, right? Especially the fight piece, right? That's something different, What does that look like? What happens in a classroom for something like that? Just having that, as a parent, and I'm sure other parents too, just having that understanding of what's going on there. Again, it's so different. We didn't grow up with that.
Absolutely.
So just a suggestion there.
That's a great idea. And one of the things about Run, Hide, Fight that I like the most is it hones in on the idea that you make the best decision with the information you have at the time you have the information. So at the high school level and the middle school level, it's a little easier to do that because it's not only staff thinking for kids, it's also the kids are able to think too. At the elementary school level, and we discuss this all the time, most likely at the elementary school level, kids are either running or hiding. And that's just the nature of their age, right? But I do agree, and definitely will take that suggestion into consideration for sharing that video.
Thank you.
Trustee Petrushko.
Yeah, this has been a concern of mine for a long time, even before we started to have the prevalence of situations across the nation, but we're all aware of the reality. But I've been in buildings a lot of times where, especially with the older students who it doesn't have a reality to them, and I see them opening doors all the time, especially at buildings the size of Fortson High School, where I'll be walking down a hallway and they're coming and letting people in a back door, which worries me. And I don't know how we impart the importance of, this is not just something that is a game or a one-time, we're going to have a drill, but the rest of the time we can kind of relax. But we don't want to do it in a way that has everybody terrified or on pins and needles every time they move through the building. And we especially have to put the message in a different tone depending on what level, elementary, middle, or high school, that the students are at, because they're all going to hear it differently and prepare for it differently. So how can we, I got on when I saw this report coming out, schoolsafety.gov,
yeah,
which has all kinds of different tutorials to access kind of thing. What is a suggestion of how we can, because we're such a large district, we have to reach so many different voices, and we have so many different levels of staffing and students and parents, accessing buildings all the time. How do we, can we do a better job of?
Well, there's always
messaging?
room for improvement. I always say that, no matter what. Even if we think we're A+, then we can be A++. There's always room for improvement. It's a beast to tackle, no matter what. I think about even in my own home, when I tell the kids, make sure you lock the door behind you, or don't open the door. And sometimes they open the door and sometimes they don't lock the door behind them. But it's that constant reminder. And I think that our buildings do a good job of that. It's just that we can't be everywhere and we can't see everything. So it's that advocacy. And it goes back to what Dr. Maleko is always saying day in and day out. Safety is everybody's responsibility. So it's got to be in our daily practices and our daily discussions. And it has to always be in our trainings, but most of all to our parents. So Michigan Department of Education just released some videos similar to what you're talking about, the safety.gov website. So we're currently reviewing those videos and we're gonna see if we can, they'll be posted on the website. But the thing is, people don't always go visit the website just to look at these videos. They can be shared with our parents and we're hoping that they click on them and look at them, but we really need our parents to hone in and talk to their kids about these reminders.
Dr. Maleko?
First, I just want to thank, I think, a little bit over 3 years now, Ms. Elzayat. You do a great job leading the department. Mr. Dakhlallah, same thing. And Sergeant Micallef, great partnership with you, the work you do. Chief Shaheen and all the SROs, seeing them all the time, building relationships and maintaining high level of safety. Saw them all 3 of the football games last week, and they're very busy and they do great work. So I just want to compliment you all there. But I do agree with Ms. Elzayat. There's a lot of responsibilities we have, but we also have SRO officers, but we have 5, and they're in different places. So like with my council, we've had Ms. Elzayat, students need to take hold of this as well. That's why we tell them, even during, for example, during an emergency or something, don't be shooting videos and posting things. Like that's why we also have to be careful with the information we're providing here publicly, because there's certain tactical reasons why we don't want to share certain things. But I do think it is everyone's responsibility, and you look at buildings where someone opens the door, but we can also improve, and I'll use this example. I remember after the pandemic, and Ms. Elzayat and I are always saying this to the administrators and at trainings, but as far as the doors being propped. So I noticed it a lot. Now during the pandemic, obviously doors were being opened for a certain reason because we were dealing with it. But then as administration, we went to the general administrators and talked to them multiple times. We said, look, no more propping doors. We went to Mark Andrews, we went to his engineers, and everybody has to take part of it. I seldomly see, I'm not saying never, but I don't see the prop doors in the backs of the engineers, so we address that. We need the students to help out. We need everyone to kind of do their part so that you're not letting somebody in. And, for example, at the football games, we increased security this year. We did that to keep everyone safe, and there may be some inconveniences for it, but we need everyone to kind of chip in with those security protocols. So I do agree, and we will constantly keep at it, and we appreciate the support of the board, but the team is doing great. And please send the message on to the Dearborn Police that we really appreciate Chief Shaheen and the great partnership.
I have a question. Do you still have a question?
Just to piggyback on, one thing I'm wondering about is we're hearing a lot more about cell phones being banned, and it might be a nationwide ban in schools during the school day, which you hear pushback all the time from the parents. I want to be able to have my kid, right there in case of an emergency, which God forbid, it's such a rare circumstance, but that's what comes to the forefront of a parent's viewpoint. But if we were to be in a position where we decided that, because we know the detriment of cell phones in the classroom and what kind of educational experience they decimate at the classroom setting, would that change how everybody also practices their safety experience, because they wouldn't have cell phones to be calling for emergencies or videotaping what's going on or that kind of thing? Do we think that would have a side effect?
Well, it would just take us back to the time before there were cell phones, right? Which was a very long time ago.
Not for me, but.
So, you know, yeah, it definitely would change things. I say all the time, I talk to Dr. Malego all the time and tell him, look, we are never going to beat social media during an emergency, and I don't want to. I mean, I would love it if people weren't videotaping every single thing going on in the building and sharing it on social media, but I always tell the principals, we cannot worry about that during an emergency. So during an emergency, the top priority is keeping the kids safe. It's not, why is somebody posting something? If they have their phones or if they don't have their phones, we still need to keep them safe. And I recently was able to join a meeting on school safety in a different capacity, not for Dearborn schools, but everybody was talking about the cell phone bill. And I did let our representatives know that parents have to be able to feel that their kids are safe at school if they're not going to have their phones. So that's building safety infrastructure, and we need money to do that. So that comes from advocacy on your part, too, to advocate that we get grant money, and we might know a guy up there starting in the end of the year.
Well, I was going to offer a little bit of my insight on the transition. I was at policy discussion event and spoke, and that was I mentioned about Tim Kelly, the chair of the appropriations of the House for the Education State Aid Committee, and Senator Camilleri chairs it in the Senate, and both of them were saying, and they, you know, there were multiple people, so this was said kind of in a public forum, that they are looking at tackling that next year. But what I heard is kind of a compromise somehow, that it wouldn't be a total ban, but, you know, we've looked at some of these technologies where there's pouches at the front or things like that. So I believe that the legislature will likely tackle this issue in the next year, especially when you have both parties saying that it's a priority. Where it will end up exactly, because it was also mentioned to your point of the parents' concern if they can't communicate. So I have a feeling there'll probably be a compromise, but we'll see.
Absolutely. I mean, I worked 16 years on planning for emergencies, and I'll tell you, I'm a firm believer. You can do anything as long as there's a plan for it. So whatever scenario we're given to work with,
You'll make the plan.
we'll just make the plan for that. And as long as we make the plan and we train everybody on the plan consistently, we'll be good.
And there's competing interests with safety being here with the plan, because as an instructional leader, when I go in for school improvement visits and I walk through, and Ms. Elzayat, you were in one of them with me. And what did we see? We saw some, you know, hiding it under here and on the cell phones, right? So it is a distraction. So you've got instruction, you got safety. Where can we find that balance?
Absolutely.
And plan, as you mentioned. And you guys do great jobs with the plan.
Thank you.
Question on the recent law from 2023 about keeping guns safe at home and the requirements on districts to send notices to families about this law and the importance of keeping firearms in a safe place. How are we doing that digitally, or are we sending that to their parents through?
We're doing it digitally. We worked with, David, I don't see David, but we worked with the Department of Communications. Actually, they received that notification too, so we put something together for parents to receive all of that information.
Okay. Any other questions? Okay. Thank you, Director Elzayat.
Thank you.
Thank you to the officers for your help. And truly, this is a very important topic, student safety and staff safety. So, and everyone's safety is very, very important. So I wanted to bring that to the forefront, and also to keep this as a reoccurring topic if we have any topics that we want to tackle, such as cyberbullying. Perhaps maybe that's another thing that we want to present on. But we truly, truly appreciate you. One other concern that I had is that we did, in the beginning of the school year, an uptick in student injuries, especially at the yards of the schools, where they try to go on the monkey bars and they fall, and then they have to get some casts. And it was kind of concerning for me, and this is what prompted this presentation.
I felt the same way.
Yeah, we had kind of quite a few. So I've asked Dr. Malika, what can we do? I know, I don't know about equipment change, but definitely a lot of education to the kids themselves.
You and I were thinking the same thing, so I forgot to mention this, but we did talk about it at Cabinet, and we approved some additional budget to provide training for the new Nasri supervisors and other staff. And so I obviously have experience because I was an elementary principal before, And one of the things you want to do is, as principals and assistants, is to make sure we have people divided up on the playground and at different areas, especially some of those areas where someone might climb and fall. So that's what we need. We need the visibility, the proximity, just like we have, in a classroom or in a hallway. It's the same thing on the playground. So we did approve. It came up in the assistant principals meeting with Ms. Sewer, I believe, and we approved time for the noon hours to get some additional training. And then we would, ask our instructional staff the same thing when they take, and I know Ms. Martin's here, but when we take students out for recess, we should be kind of divided up so we can kind of monitor things as we go to maintain safety. And we appreciate the union support always with those things.
Absolutely.
With safety.
Absolutely. And if I may, also just a special thank you to our Department of Operations, that Director Mark Andrews and his team over there, because every single piece of our puzzle has to do with them. So we can't do it without them. They're the ones who support all of the work that we do, and we appreciate everything that they do too.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
All right, next item, please.
Action items. Special consideration of an action item. Are there any agenda items on this agenda which board members or the superintendent wish to discuss and vote on separately? If there are, we will exclude these from the motion below.
Are there any agenda items that you'd like to discuss on or vote separately? Take from the motion.
I have some questions on some of them. Does that mean they would need to be excluded?
No.
Do you anticipate a vote, like to change your vote based on the questions? We can have that as a separate motion.
If they're just questions of.
If they're just regular questions, then we can just
include it, and then you ask the questions.
Their question, I don't anticipate changing my vote, but
okay.
I do have some concern on them.
So just name which.
Yeah, name which which agenda items you'd like to.
Which
have
items?
On.
Item number 6, 7, 8, and 9.
Okay.
So 6 through 9.
9 questions. Okay. Any other trustee would like to single out? Any? 15. You have questions?
15.
15. Just questions,
Just
right?
Questions.
Okay. All right.
Okay, so
let's have a motion first to get those on the table first.
Right. Okay, move that action items numbered 1 through, where are we at here?
26, yeah, I'd like to also give
we'll have
some
to make-
attention to 26 as a supplemental item.
Be approved as recommended in this agenda, with the exception of none. So can we have?
Okay, a motion to move the agenda items?
I'll move.
Okay, thank you, trustee Sobh. Supported by trustee Petlishkov.
So
now let's have the questions
have
on
the
these discussion, yeah.
Go in order.
So trustee Al-Jahmi, let's start with number 6.
So they're all related questions.
Okay.
The original budget is $27,000, and there's additional cost of, for item number 6, $48,000, for number 7, $173,000, for number 8, $173,000, and number 9, $223,000. So the question is, they're all 27,000, so the change is the scope change. I'm trying to see why it's not in the original budget. Why do we have to, especially since the year just started, are we putting the 27 as a placeholder and not sure? So I'll wait for you to explain.
Yeah, that's kind of exactly what it is, Trustee Al-Jahmi. I wish we can come up with a perfect number. The bottom line is what we do sometimes when some of our staff are on leave or we have vacancies is we contract staff. The staff that we contract are ancillary staff that specialize, whether it's social workers, speech pathologists, occupational therapists. While we're contracting staff, we're actively searching for permanent replacements. Sometimes we get permanent replacements quickly. Sometimes it takes a little bit longer than we would like. Therefore, that's why you'll see the fluctuation, and many times special ed has a change order or a change in specific budgetary things. We're still budgeted the same amount with the FTE and things along those lines. It's not costing us additional, unless, of course, we have a staff member on leave. Then we'd have to obviously replace them with a different staff member. But that's why you see some of the change orders with special ed staff sometimes.
So the additional 600,000, give or take, does not take away from what was budgeted?
No. And a lot of times what ends up happening is actually there's multiple staff members under the one specific company. It's one company that sometimes will maybe contract 2 to 3 staff members or whatever the situation may be. So we're not asking for additional monies per se, but sometimes we just estimate what it may cost. I wish if there was a better system that we can do this, because I can tell you this, it kind of frustrates me at times too, always bringing this up to the board agenda, but we're really playing like a guessing game sometimes with how long contracted staff are going to be there and so on and so forth.
Yeah, and the only reason I asked that is early in the school year to budget $27,000 and then asking the highest one is $223,000. It just seems like we should improve our budget so that we don't put such a low number and it becomes a change control.
Yeah,
That's just an opinion.
we'll definitely take that in consideration. I'll work with Tom's office too to see what we can do maybe a little bit better so we're not coming up here so often with some of these things.
And I will just attest, having been the longest on the board, this has always been a problem, especially with the special ed, because of the ancillary staffing that we use outside of the norm of a regular hire. And I've been on the board since 2008, and it was going on then. Every director has had this trouble with getting the numbers the first go round.
And another thing sometimes that'll happen is we'll have like say a social worker contracted, that the original employee comes back and then we find out someone else is going on a leave. So as opposed to going and searching for somebody new, we'll just shift that contracted person to a different vacancy, which then will trigger obviously another change order and things along.
Yeah, and just to reply to that, I mean, if it's always been done that way, usually you learn in budgeting based on historical data to actually improve the budgeting process. So if this has always been happening, then we would know how much we should expect based on the fluctuation. And that's when you budget, you kind of use historical data to see what would happen. I'm just saying, when I hear it's always been.
Yeah, no, you bring up great points, Trustee Elzayat.
I'm just wondering, Mr. Walls there, but I wonder too if we could put a higher threshold and send up to if the board would want to do something like that and give.
The budgeting isn't as much of an aspect because every year we do budget money for contracted services for special ed, because no matter what you do, people come and go, and we always have that. State law requires that anything over roughly about $30,000 has to be board approved. So if we actually approve one vendor and that person no longer works, and we find another firm that has a social worker, by law, if it's going to be over 30,000, we have to bring it to the board for approval. There is no rounds about it. So that's that. So budgeting is one aspect, but the actual individual contracts to vendors has to have board approval. That's a state law. Now, we could, at the beginning of the year, choose 3 firms and take that as part of our blanket process. But again, it'd be an estimate, as Mike has said, that we don't know how long that's going to last or how much we have to put in there. So budgeting is one aspect, but the state law contracts is very specific.
Yeah. Also, there's such critical shortages that I wish we can work with 1 or 2 firms.
Yeah,
It'd be a lot easier for us, but like sometimes we're opening it up to as many firms as possible to get the best qualified candidates. So that's why you'll see multiple different vendors with different.
Just to clarify more, so it has to be board approved if it's over 30,000. Does it have to be with a specific vendor? If it's more, I mean,
Yes, it has to be a specific vendor that you're approving by because we have an individual contract with each of these companies.
So it can't be a
they make
blanket
sure they meet
order.
all the quality standards, the certifications. What happens if we want to hire that employee permanently? Then there's a clause that you have to go through. So each individual contract with a vendor requires board approval.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Oh, then there was a question on 15 as well, or?
Yeah.
I believe it was
15,
I believe that's communities and schools, right?
Yeah, CIS. Trustee Elzayat, you had a question on 15?
I did, I think it was.
Trustee Bazzi, sorry.
Trustee Bazzi.
Yeah,
Go ahead,
Trustee
Trustee
Bazzi on
Bazzi.
15.
So as I was reading through this, this program has been going on since 2017, 11 schools, 7 coordinators, and it's expanded to 24. Is it the same number of coordinators that are still part of this? Has that expanded?
Yeah, it's expanded greatly. So initially what we had was we had coordinators doing shared time. What we found was that just wasn't a very effective model with communities and schools. So they were split up in between 1 or 2 schools or whatever the situation may be, and it was limiting the capabilities of what they can do. First and foremost, really servicing your most vulnerable students within the school setting. So what we ended up doing was we did expand. This is fully funded right now still through a lot of our title dollars and our federal grants. But last year, what really caused the expansion is Michigan Department of Education gave us a wonderful grant that we actually applied for and we were able to get. And we were able to do a couple things. We were able to expand the CIS within that specific grant, but also make some of these part-times into full-times. And it's not completely funded by the district as well. The Balmer Group, who I don't know if you're familiar with our summer school group, they also pay a specific portion for that as well.
For this year as
For
well?
CIS, yeah, for all the time. So CIS is really a nonprofit organization funded by the Balmer Group.
Okay. And so then what kind of, like, we're looking at almost 1.1 million. What kind of change was from last year to this year just roughly?
The additional schools and additional CIS coordinators. I can tell you a couple years ago, we had about 11 or 12. Now we're up to 24 coordinators. And a lot of that, though, was a result of the grant we received last year.
But the budget itself, how much is it?
The budget last year, I'll tell you, from last year to this year, it's pretty much the
About
same.
the same,
Yeah.
We-
There's not much of a difference.
You might want to give him the report that
Absolutely.
we asked for last year too.
I will. I could provide that for you.
Because we had similar questions last year.
Yeah.
And this program definitely is federally funded, but it depends on the funding for next year.
Yeah, so honestly, we went into this year, we were going to make some drastic cuts with CIS. Over the summer, I thought almost for sure we were going to cut almost half the budget because we didn't necessarily know where Title IV was going to be. Thankfully, it was restored in time. But, next year, not knowing whether we're going to have Title II, III, or IV, we're going to have to make some difficult decisions moving forward with a lot of different services. And it's unfortunate because communities and schools does do some great things for our students.
Yeah.
And that's what I was going to say. I know we talked, but I also just wanted the history of this. So it was the year, I think 17, 18, we started it, and it was AFT Michigan that actually approached me, the union, to implement this. At the time, the DFT president was Chris Sipperly and David Hecker, who was there. So the union was promoting this as well. And we've generally gotten really positive over time, but we also know we need to evaluate it. So we're hoping that we can continue to lobby our legislature so Title IV will be there next year, because CIS was well aware that this was a potential problem. And they were trying to find additional funding possibly to supplement, but I don't know that they necessarily did. So thankfully, the Title IV was restored.
Okay. Does that answer your question, Trustee Bazzi? Thank you. Trustee Elzayat?
Yeah, I had a question on number 24. It's
Sure.
kind of more of a request, and I could wait till later on and maybe make a request. I think we get the financial statements and we get the operating costs, but we don't get anything on the federal programs as a part of the financials for transparency's sake. I would like to ask going forward that we would get that as a part of the, whether it's the brief or the agenda, to be able to see the full budget. We're talking about 180 million that we don't see. We know it's there, and everybody's really transparent about it. We just had a meeting previous to this for the financials. But for the rest of the boards, it would be good to have the full budget, the 280 operating plus the federal programs, which is 180 million, to be
included in the
included.
Okay. Trustee Bazzi?
I agree with Trustee Elzayat. When I was going through this and looking through the budget, it was one of the first things I was trying to find. So I agree.
Sure. I also just have a comment on 26. The ad hoc committee met last Friday, only myself and Vice President Petishkoff, Vice Chair at the college side, and we're recommending Academic Search to be our search firm for the presidential search. We felt they were the most qualified from our judgment, unanimous support from the 3 trustees. And yeah, I believe I've spoken to all of you about this item. So We had it, and President Ganko is here too, but we have it on this agenda so we can give them time also to start the work of the search. And I would like also from all of you to let me know if you would like to serve on the presidential search committee, subcommittee, ad hoc committee that we will be forming next week. So you can let me know that privately. That's all I had on 26. Trustee Al-Jahmi, did you have any questions?
No, are you asking, do we want to be on the search or?
You can let me know.
But we
Yes,
still
they're
have a
interested.
motion on the floor.
Yeah, let's
get that voted on.
approve the agenda items.
Okay. I do have a question, even though we talked, and I want to make sure that the search firm that we pick does everything that needs to be done. It's not limited to, I know at one time the discussion was they wanted to limit what the search firm does, so the committee does more.
Limit their scope kind of situation.
Yeah, so I want to make sure that we don't go that route. We want to make sure that the search firm
Does what they're getting paid for.
what they're getting paid to do, and they do their job.
Yeah, the RFP was very clear that
Okay.
this is a full national search, so.
Yeah.
So and that's why it's this high. I know for the superintendent search, we discussed this at the finance committee, that it might not be that big of a cost to the district, so. Okay. Can I have a roll call, please, for this motion?
Okay, Trustee Al-Jahmi,
Yes.
Trustee Bazzi,
Yes.
Trustee D'Ambrosio is not present. Trustee Petlicoff, yes. Trustee Sobh,
Yes.
Amarzar, not present. President Moses.
Yes, thank you. Next item, please.
Okay. Oh, I have to read a summary.
Summary of it.
Summary.
It's a long list, too.
Yeah.
We're getting you to
Summary of
work,
action
Vice
items.
President.
Number one, approval of warrants per Board Report 2541. Two, approval of an award to Sungage per Board Report 2542. Three, approval of an award to iReady per Board Report 2543. Four, approval of an award to People Driven Inc. Data Image Systems and Intercomp per Board Report 2544. Five, approval of an award to IXL. 6 through 9, approval of change orders. 10, approval of an award to Burhani Therapy Services, PLLC. 11, approval of an award to the Stepping Stones Group. 12, approval of an award to Imaging Learning per Board Report 2545. 13, approval of an award to Imagine Learning per Board Report, what did I say, the last one, Imaging, per Board Report 2546. 14, approval of an award to Delta Network Services. 15, approval of an award to Communities in Schools. 16, approval of an award to Train per Board Report 2547. 17, approval of an award to We Build Fund per Board Report 2548. 18, approval of an award to Green Manufacturing, Inc. per Board Report 2549. 19, approval of an award to Johnson Controls per Board Report 2550. 20 to 23, approval of non-instructional and instructional personnel items for P12. 24, approval of financial statement. 25, approval of donations. And 26, approval of a contract to Academic Search for executive search consulting services for the next Henry Ford College president.
Thank you. Next item.
Okay, discussion, none. Next, Board of Education Business, Acknowledgement of Correspondence.
I have responded to all of the emails that have been addressed to us, and I still have some emails that were just addressed to me, but I'll respond to it later. But any other correspondence to acknowledge? No. Next item, please.
Board Member Committee and Organization Reports.
The Finance Committee met before this meeting, and we discussed multiple items. First was the preliminary discussion on the audit and the post-audit discussion with Mr. Higgins from Plant Moran. Happy to report that the district received unmodified opinion on the audit. They'll be working with the district to work on the recommendations that they have and they found with the audit. There was also a discussion on putting the RFP for banking services on hold until we get a clear point of view of the competition. There was also a discussion on the state aid budget, as well as the upcoming superintendent search, which we will discuss in a little bit as well. So that was the finance committee I sat in for Trustee D'Ambrosio, who's the chair for that committee. Anything else? That
Well,
we
I
missed?
didn't have a committee, but I did have a correspondence I totally forgot because it was a text message sent to me and then a follow-up email that was sent by City Councilman Paris, who was contacted by a community member who lives near Hague Elementary School, who this individual had concerns about a tree that had been planted in memoriam of a student, I believe, that had to be moved and had subsequently died because of the move. It didn't reroot. And this individual was concerned about the condition of the tree and would new planting take place. So they reached out to Councilman Paris, who reached out to the principal at Hague, who did respond back that they would like to be able to replace a tree, but they're trying to find a way, because trees can be fairly pricey and the timing of the year and everything. So there is conversation being had, but I wanted to share that with the board.
Thank you. Any other committee reports?
I do, and I need Ms. Fudge to help me. We did the proficiencies of the school improvement. We had a great meeting and a lot of positives. We also got to see the dashboard. Dr. Patterson did a great job with that. It's amazing. It has a lot of data that we're looking for, and we'll wait till it's ready to be shown to the board. But I think the board will be happy with that, and as well as the parents, because transparency is both ways. I think we're looking for the next step in the next meeting. I wish more board member would have joined the committee. It's still, anybody could still join.
Yeah.
But the idea for is the next step is going to be, goals, and correct me if I'm wrong, Ms. Fetter, goals for the schools, to set the expectation and what they need to do to meet those expectations. Obviously, there's going to be support for them to meet those goals, but accountability is big. It's not something where there's a school improvement plan and you see if you could make it. If you don't make it, that's fine. There's going to be accountability to go with that. So that's where the changes to this committee came in, is accountability is a big factor. Did I miss anything?
Can we get because I totally forgot about it and I didn't sign in originally to it. Can we re-receive or at least the upcoming dates for the next one, so that anybody who is available will be able to attend? Because I did promise that I would come and I totally was not in my calendar.
And we had a good diverse group from different schools, representation, not diverse, good representation from the high schools, from different schools. And it was good to hear the different feedback, and kind of share success and failure. We didn't get in depth into that, but I think it's going to be in the future more. But I thought it was a great meeting. And like I said, the dashboard will complement that.
All right.
Next.
Thank you. Any other committee reports? No? Okay, next item.
Board member, superintendent commentary.
No, the superintendent has things to share, but any other board members would like to do any
Okay.
commentary? So usually in this section for the new trustees,
When you can vent.
Yeah. So if you want to vent, if you have something to share, if there are any upcoming events. So I'll start just to lead by example. I did attend the 25-plus dinner, as Dr. Maliko mentioned, and it was great. It was amazing seeing how many people dedicated so many years of their lives to the district and the college. And we had people even with 39 years of service, and some are still continuing on. So it was truly, truly amazing. Dr. Ganko was there too from the college, and David was there as a sub for Dr. Maliko since he was in Lansing. There was, at the last football game for Fortson, there was a recognition for former coach Zaban. He was inducted to the Hall of Fame for the state of Michigan for MHSSA organization, and that was a great event. I know Trustee D'Ambrosio and Trustee Bazzi were present, so we were able to take a picture, and Danielle took the picture for us. So thank you for that. Presidential search, so I'm glad to now announce that we're going to be working with Academic Search to do the presidential search, and for the new trustees, you know, as I mentioned, you can let me know if you'd like to serve. There will be amount of work, and I'd like to get all of us to work on this as we have in the past, all together to participate in some way or form in this process. So we started with the search firm. We're going to go to the actual search, and then there will be also an opportunity to do contract negotiation. So
there's only three for
yeah, when
new
we can
board members.
have,
You can only have three.
we can have up to 3 members.
On a committee, and
So I'd like to divide the work between all of us, and there will also be perhaps a search committee for the superintendent. So you will be able, if you'd like to serve on that, to let me know as well.
and you will have, if you read the RFP, you'll have a better understanding of the timeline and time commitment to be on that committee, and you'll be serving with a number of other community members who will also be participating. The other thing is the full board will be involved in the beginning with the search firm, who will be looking for what kind of profile we're going to be putting out in order to have applicants for the college president and what we would like to see.
So what I hear is the possibility of 3 committees for each one. Initially to select a firm, and then
Now, you would be part of a larger search committee that includes college community members and community members from within the city who would also volunteer their time. Last time we did this, we had 35 to 40 people. Yeah, no, they all didn't show up.
So
But yeah, 35 to 40 people were on this search committee. We had, which was much larger than it should have been. The search firm will help us flesh out what our search committee should look like, but we have a contractual obligation with the unions at the college that they have a certain number of individuals who will be participating.
Okay.
So
we already actually in a previous meeting determined that 24 individuals will be on this committee.
Right.
So
3
much
of them will
lower-
be board
yeah,
members.
much lower number than 40. So 3 board members. Again, let me know if you have interest in serving in there. If you don't serve in that, then you'll be able to serve in contract negotiations. For the superintendent, I'm going to wait until we have our study session on November 3rd to learn from MASB the best practices and to see what is the best option that we have, especially considering that next year is going to be a very important year for the district, especially with a potential bond in November. So we want to see a great timeline. We want to move as quickly as possible. I know the college, unfortunately, the timing was not great. It started over the summertime, so it took us a few months to get to a search firm, but I would hope that the districts would be much, much quicker in getting us a search firm, and then we go for the full search.
So then there's a committee to select a search firm. Then once that's selected, a committee with the search firm to finalize, and then once the board has voted on whether it's the president or superintendent, then a committee for contract negotiations.
For contract.
Correct.
Is
Yes.
those three that are selected first, are they all the way through, or this can change up?
No, it will change up. So that's why I talked about dividing the work, and I hope, next year we'll build on that of saying who haven't served will be able to serve in some capacity. But at the same time, I'd like to say and mention this clearly, that the entire board is going to be apprised
Involved.
of all the things that are happening, and then the finalists for both the president and the superintendent will be here to be interviewed by the entire board.
Yeah, the entire board does interview.
Yeah, the finalists. Okay, any other commentary? Anything that you'd like to share? I know Election Day is coming up for municipal elections. That's a very important day.
And
November
absentee
4th.
ballots are already out.
Yeah, so city council race, as well as the mayor race in our city of Dearborn and Dearborn Heights. And also there is a ballot proposal that I'd like residents to read on, and they have the opportunity to vote a yes or no, and that's changing how city council members are getting elected in the city. I have no other commentary or announcements. Anybody else? Okay, next item. Dr. Malik.
I just wanted to thank Dr. Gonko for an excellent meeting a week and a half ago with Kevin Howley and Michael Nealon, joint cooperation. I think we got through a lot. Tom put us a jam-packed agenda. You ever seen Tom's agendas? You know how they go, but we got through a lot. And yeah.
He does like to fill
City
them.
relations, he has to. But anyway, it was very productive. I appreciate it. If you can share it with the others. We have the best partnership of any college, P12 anywhere. So board members, I think you're aware of that, and we'll continue to enhance that. And so thank you, Dr. Gonko.
Trustee Al-Jahmi?
I did want to say, you mentioned Coach Walker Zaban, somebody that we grew up together, an amazing person, a great coach, and I just want to recognize him by the board for his service and what he's done for the community, somebody that's of high character. I always feel like that people like him, because they go under the radar, they're not recognized, but the impact that they do to our kids in many ways as a teacher, as a coach. We grew up together. We grew up in Amazon. Amazon had great people that came out of it.
For those who don't know.
Yeah, Amazon Street is indexed. It had Emo, and it had Abe Mashure. So a lot of great people came out of that street, and Walker's was one of them. Walker was he never changed from when he was a kid till now, and he really impacted the kids in Fortson in many ways. So we're proud of him. As a South Ender, as somebody that grew up with him, so I want to thank him for his service.
Thank you. Thank you for that recognition. I had Coach Zaban as a student at Fortson. So
I did.
And he was an amazing, made me run a few miles for missing on a swimming day, 2 miles. But that was great. That was a lesson for me. But definitely, I echo your words, Trustee Al-Jahmi. Former Coach Zaban and teacher Zaban had been a blessing for our community, and we thank him for his service. And I believe that induction to the Hall of Fame is well-deserved. Okay. Next item, please.
Request for information and/or future agenda items.
So Trustee Al-Jahmi already had a request for information as far as the budget for federal funding, if we want that to be included in the report for the, Mr. Wall already had that in his.
And one more thing outside. I just need an update on the early college and the elevator. I know.
The building, you mean?
The building, because it's impacting the kitchen and other things. So just an update on that.
Okay. Any other requests? There are no more requests. We can go to adjournment. This meeting
No,
is.
future meeting date.
Oh, we do have future meeting dates.
You might like to know when we meet again.
Please, go ahead.
Monday, October 20th, 2025, HFC Policy Committee meeting at 6. Monday, October 20th, 2025, HFC Board of Trustees meeting at 7 p.m. in the Rosenau Boardroom. Monday, November 3rd, 2025, P12, Board of Education Training, 6 p.m. at the Administration Service Center, and Monday, November 10th, 2025, P12, Board of Education meeting, 7 p.m. at the Administrative Service Center in the Frank Franchi Boardroom.
Thank you, everyone, for joining us. Thank you to Vice President Petchka for being secretary today. Have a good night, everyone. This meeting is adjourned. 9:21.